Hey everybody, welcome back to Gideon Stuff. Today we're taking a look at this knife here. This is the Sitivien. It doesn't say the name on the, yeah, it does. There it is. Let's look at that. Focus, you stupid camera. Focus. There we go. Sitivien? Sitivien? I don't know. Whatever. That's the brand of this knife, and this is the 102, I believe? Yeah, the ST-102 and D2. You know, I'll be honest, when I first pulled this knife out and I was first playing with it, I just kind of looked at the blade real quick and I thought it said the SDT, the STD 102. My bad, because of the ST and then the D. I'm glad it's not called that, but anyways, yeah, it's been a long day. I'm kind of tired, and maybe right now is not the best time to film a video, but you know what? The show must go on. And speaking of the show going on, let's go ahead and take our blade length measurements. We're coming in here at, I'm going to call it 3.5. I mean, it's just a little bit under. We're going to call it 3.5. And let's bring out our size comparisons. Let's grab our rats, of course. There's the 1. There's the 2. So yeah, definitely a full-size knife. Okay, get it over there. Next, let's bring out our PM2 and the bug out, which, hey, I didn't lose him this time. That's a relief. There's the bug out. Yep. There's how big he is. And let's bring out our Sitivien. There's the Elementum. And the Praxis. Pivot. Yep, there we go. And just to close out our comparisons, I want to bring out 2 knives right now. The first one is going to be the CJRB Scoria. Line up those pivots. And the next one is going to be the CJRB Feldspar. So yeah, all these knives are kind of in the same size range and share some kind of common features. So there we go. Alrighty, now what are we looking at in terms of materials? So we have a D2 drop point blade, pretty classic blade shape, nice looking blade in my opinion. Flat grind, pretty thin behind the edge. This thing I believe was about 15 thousandths behind the edge. Pretty hefty blade stock though. We'll talk about that here in a little bit. G10 handles. This is where I will say that the colors that you see on this knife before you right now are not stock. I got this knife, it was Jade G10, and I dyed it. I dyed it this kind of aquamarine blue with this kind of translucent strawberry backspacer. So yeah, and then other than that, steel liner lock, steel clip, pretty basic type of your Chinese budgety knife stuff. Oh, ball bearings and the pivot. Okay, let's go ahead and get over to the cutting. Alrighty, the Sitivien 102, Sitivien, whatever. What are we looking at here? So the blade, actually I have not taken a behind the edge reading on this guy, but it's D2. Let's go ahead and take that reading now, just because. Zero that out. All right, so behind the edge thickness, we're looking at about 18 thousandths. That's kind of a hard measurement to get for some reason. Don't know why. Anyways, let's do the cutting last. So, how's the action? The action is fantastic. This slipper tab looks super weird, but the way it's angled up, whoo, very nice. Great action, great action. How are the ergos? They're good. They're kind of what you'd expect. You're locked in fairly well. You have jumping up here. Your flipper tab forms a nice little guard. You can feel the pocket clip because it's a deep carry clip, but overall, not too bad. Scales are contoured. That helps it fill the hand. So yeah, not bad at all. Pretty good in the ergos department, actually. So I'm pretty happy with that. How's it carry? It's a pretty slim knife. The clip reminds me a lot of the CJRB clip. It's recessed into the scale, but wah wah wah, button screws. So, I can definitely feel my pants catch on the screws a little bit, but I mean, it goes in full depth, comes out. It's not the best, but it's actually not terrible. So, yeah. I will not complain about the carry at all. Let's go ahead and do some slicing. This flat ground D2 blade. Really good. No complaints there. No complaints. Okay, let's go ahead and do some other types of cuts. Let's adjust downwards. Get out our rope. Woo! That was nice. All right, not bad. We have a nice strong tip there. That's pretty good. All right, let's get back to the table. Alrighty, Sitivien 102. Let's get into what I like and what I don't like. I was going to say that I feel like this is going to be a shorter review, but I struggle to make short knife reviews. I tend to say a lot, and I tend to ramble a lot, and I tend to be a little bit circular. Cut. Oh boy, do I want to leave that in? Should I edit that out? Let's try that again. Alrighty, Sitivien 102, ST-102. Let's get into what I like and what I don't like about this knife. So, first thing I like is the blade shape. Drop point blades are always pretty nice. I think this is a pretty good blade. Let's get into the blade because I do think it's a pretty good blade. We have a really nice sharpening choil. If it'll focus in there. Really nice sharpening choil. Ugh, this knife is dirty. I do carry the knives I review, so yes, they do get dirty. But very nice sharpening choil. You can see the plunge ends way up here. You've got a lot to sharpen out. This is D2 steel. I do believe that Lee over at Love Them Knives has tested some Sitivien knives, and I do believe they came back as what they say they do. So that's nice. We have a satin finish here. Not the biggest fan of satin finishes, but whatever. I do think they did some pretty neat stuff with the blade. See, we have this swedge here. This kind of, most wedges start at the tip and come this way. This one starts way back here and goes that way. I like that. It's pretty nice. What you can see here is that we have a very robust blade. Very robust. Let's compare that against, I guess not very, very robust, but it is a robust blade. Compared against this, the Rat. So we can see there is, yeah, this has a lot of strength out towards the tip, which I like seeing. You know, no one wants to break their tip off. Yep, I'm just going to leave that there. Very good blade shape for a lot of different generalized EDC tasks. Nice, thin, flat grind. Love seeing that. So even though you have this good, robust blade, you do still have good slicing geometry. Really, really good there. Overall, just a really, really nicely performing knife. Next thing, access to the lock bar is really good. You can see that they give you all the room in the world to get there to that lock bar, disengage it, and close the knife. Really, really great. The knife came a little bit off center. In fact, it's a little bit off center right now. I think. Let's go ahead and center that. But I mean, what I meant to say was, out of the box, the knife was centered and everything, so that is definitely good. We have a T8 for the pivot here. Give that a little twist. And I think we're centered again. Hard to show because of how bulgy that blade is, but yeah, we're centered again. So good, good, good. Next thing, it's pretty comfortable in the hand. I wouldn't say it's like life-changing ergos, but they're good ergos. This jimping here is nice. Do wish it came out a little bit more, but they did the jimping good. I can feel the pocket clip. It's a deep carry clip. It's just going to happen, but you know, pretty good ergonomically. They did contour these scales very slightly. I always like to see that. They gave you some nice little milling here. The G10 seems to be pretty good quality. Not my favorite, but definitely a little bit better than Sitivien's G10. So that's definitely nice. Pretty minimal hardware. They did a lot of milling on the inside, as you can see. A lot of milling. So I like that quite a bit. The pocket clip works fine. They did not recess the screws. The clip is recessed, so you don't get clip wiggle. Like that. That's pretty cool. No lanyard option. That might be a bummer to some people. The action on this knife, let's talk about that next, is really good. This flipper tab looks super weird. It's a really small flipper. I'm not always the biggest fan of minimalist flippers, but they did something really interesting with this one. See how sharply it's angled? You get a little bit of jimping up there. And so what this means is when you push this, all your power is going at a slant. So it rockets that blade out. Very nice. Very hard to fail a flip with this guy. And look at the close. Drop to the thumbnail. Yeah, and this is after I just tightened it. That is a pretty crazy action. I made a video a while ago talking about the, I'm not sure when this video will be posted. I'm filming this in November of 2021. This video might not come out till January of 2020 or even later, or 2022. Yep, 2020, because I'm a time traveler. I can travel backwards. Wow, I'm an idiot. Gosh, sometimes I wonder. I made a video about the steel will, or the real steel, gosh, Tanto Metamorph, and how just guillotine drop shutty it is. And this knife is still a little more drop shutty than this one, but this knife is pretty close second. Very smooth. Hello, FedEx truck. But yeah, great action on this guy. Fantastic close. That's just, holy crap. That just crazy. Next thing, there are a couple of different versions of this knife that you can get, so that's really, really cool. Okay, so that's really all that I like. Besides that, this is kind of just a basic D2 flipper liner lock from China. Honestly. Steel liners, decently sized stop pin. I did take this guy apart, obviously, to dye it and everything. I don't know if I took any pictures of it disassembled or not. I don't think I did, because it really wasn't that interesting on the inside. It's nothing anyone has not seen before. So let's go on to what I don't like. First of all, the clip is not reversible, and they left button screws in there. I just don't like seeing that. That's never my jam. So, please just, flatten off those screws. The clip itself, it works good. It really does remind me in a lot of ways of the CJRB clip. It's not exactly the same, as you can see, but it does remind me a little bit of it, both in terms of carry and feel in the hand. So, yeah. We did have some, while I was assembling it, we did have some free spinning pivot issues, but it was really easy to fix, actually. Just got another driver, put it in there, and then just a couple of turns. It was A-okay. The grinding at the tip is a little bit asymmetrical. Let's see if we can show this off. I'm not sure if it's coming through on camera. I'm looking at it right now through my camera. You can kind of see it, that it's a little bit ground more like that, but not a huge deal at all. Next thing, I don't know why they did this little scallop right here. I mean, it kind of looks cool, but it doesn't serve any functional purpose. And in the hand, no, actually I can't feel it in the hand. I lied. Do wish the Gemma came out a little bit more, but yeah. And honestly, my biggest negative on this knife is that it's just so boring. Honestly, it's just really, really boring. There's nothing really going on here. I mean, you look up knife in the dictionary and bam, there's a picture of this. So definitely not my favorite thing in the world, but whatever. Yeah, and also I wish I had a name, the STD-102. I don't know, give it a name. Anyways, let's go on to my final conclusions. My final conclusions are, the very best part about this knife is that action. That action is stupid good. If you're wanting this knife for that action, yeah, absolutely. What's the price on this knife? I got this knife for about 27 bucks. That's really, really good. And can I recommend this knife? Yes, this knife does get a recommend from me. If you're on a budget and you just want a really, really good knife, look, this knife is completely functional. It cuts good, feels good in hand. The action is absolutely amazing. Especially if you're new to the knife world, go out and get one of these. Because, yeah, it's a good knife. You can get the JG10 version to dye it, as I have, which is cool for customization. So yeah, if you're new, I can definitely recommend this knife. If you just like weird, cheap knives, I recommend this knife. But honestly, it's just kind of boring. It's another D2 liner lock out of China. I don't know. To me, it just doesn't really excite me that much. It's a good-looking knife, and I'll admit, when I was first getting into the knife community, when I was first getting into the hobby, if I bought this knife, I would have loved it. I would have been over the moon. I would have just been so excited because it is a good-looking knife, and it does have that great action, very slicey. It feels good. It's pretty well made, especially for the price. But where I am now as an esteemed collector and enthusiast of the knife world, it just doesn't excite me that much. But you know what? Objectively, there's no real reason to avoid this knife. And that's where I'm going to leave you guys. If you liked the review, give it a like, leave a comment, subscribe, and I've been Gideon. I'll see you in the next one.